This video is sponsored by RM Risk Management.
Hello and welcome to this Blues Focus match preview show, and I'm recording this episode off the back of our live stream that we did for the FA Cup third round, where Birmingham were rewarded from beating Blackpool 2-1 in the second round with a home tie against Lincoln, which isn't the most exciting of draws, is it? But at least it's one where the Blues fans and players will think of it as a winnable draw to then hopefully get through to the fourth round and get an even better opposition. Then a nice away day would go well. But looking forward to this game back in League One, our first game at St Andrews in 26 days since we drew 1-0 with Northampton, which was a thoroughly disappointing result. And we've had, 3 away games within 7 days, because we had that disappointing game against Shrewsbury where we lost 3-2. And then we also had the game against Blackpool where we won 2-1. And in between that was the Exeter game, which we won 2-0. And I feel like it was a real mixed bag of performances, with the Exeter game standing out for me as a good result because of the performance that we followed up the Shrewsbury disappointment from. And then the Blackpool game, because we made 10 changes and got through that game, I look at that game as a positive, with Lyndon Dykes and Jukas Jukovic scoring. It's really nice to see Duke score, kind of running over to the fans as he did. And also Lyndon Dykes as well, getting his second goal of the season. He looked impressive in that game, and he's someone that the Blues social media team spoke to after the game, so you could hear what he had to say. He said he wants more minutes in the team, and because of how competitive our starting 11 and substitutes are now, it really is a lot of positions up for grabs and quality in each of these positions as well. So I'm all for the competition, and I'm all for mixing up a bit like Chris Davis did against Blackpool, especially when it produces a win like it did. So Stockport County up next. They're one position below us actually in League One at the moment, and they've scored more goals than us in League One, although they've played 2 more games. So they're going really well under Dave Chandler. And under Dave Chandler in the last 3 seasons, they've gone from National League to League One, getting first place in the National League and League Two. So they've really romped their way to League One and made good progress under the board and the manager that they've got, who actually played 100 games for Stockport as a player. So yeah, they've got a real community feel about them at the moment. And their standout player is Louis Barry, someone that has scored 13 goals for Stockport on loan from Aston Villa. So I'm sure he'll get a hostile reception from the Blues fans midweek. But to hear more about Stockport from a fan's perspective, we spoke to Russ from the Scarf Bergara Wore podcast to get the lowdown on their season so far.
It's Russ Johnson here from the Scarf Bergara Wore podcast, Stockport County podcast for fans by fans, established in 2015. Obviously, we've got Birmingham away on Wednesday night. In terms of our overall starts of the season, we're really, really pleased. I mean, 3 games in, we were top of the league. We weren't expecting that. General consensus before the season started was most people, I guess, top half. That's certainly where I was sat. But as the season's gone on now, and we're in December, people are starting to think, well, playoffs is probably doable. And you get the small minority who think, look, we want to go up again. But I don't think that's dead realistic, especially with the likes of yourselves in the division and the spending power you've got, and some of the other clubs as well. This is where football in this country starts to get really serious at the top end of this division. Bolton, Barnsley, Charlton, yourselves, that kind of thing. So there's some really, really big clubs there. That said, it is our objective to get to the Championship within another 3 years, because we have had lots of investment, and that's a whole story to go into in terms of where we want to be. Challoner and him as a manager is absolutely fantastic. We say it a lot on our podcast that from day one, when he first came in, he just changed the team. We had a manager before him who couldn't really get the best out of them. 4 or 5 days in training with Charlie. We played Bolton away pretty much second game that he had us for, and there was a massive step change. Intensity is our identity, is what we go for. But I'm not saying that's going to be the case on Wednesday. He knows how to play. He knows how to set his teams up. So we expect you to come out as, massively. So it won't be. Don't think it'll be us on the front foot. I'm not saying that whatsoever. So his style of football is that high press, as they say now, with either 4 or 3 at the back or 5 at the back, however you want to look at that. He likes to play his wide wing backs high. So if we get the chance, that's what you'll see. But that said, I can see it being a completely different game on Wednesday. Odin Bailey, yeah, he's formerly of Blues, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, for us, he's done really, really well. Didn't have much of a great spell at Salford. I'm not sure where he was before that. But Charlie brought him in, started to see the best out of him pretty much straight away. He's responsible for my lad's favourite ever away day at Swindon. He scored an absolute worldie into the top right-hand corner with his right foot to make it 3-2 to us, and I lost my lad. He'd gone down a few steps, a few rungs of the terracing, completely lost him. So yeah, we like Odin. He's got his own song as well. Sort of flits in and out of the team at the moment. We've got quite a lot of strength in depth for what we are, certainly, and for the level we find ourselves at. But yeah, he's good. Sort of plays attacking midfield left, occasionally attacking midfield right, but definitely in those pockets, and comes on as a sub most of the time. I think he's only made a couple of starts, but he does fit in well. And again, the fans like him, we like him. He's a good little tricky player for us, and one of those ones that we can see getting better as time goes on. In terms of our setup, just alluded to it before, so 5 at the back, 4 at the back. It can be either, really. It depends. I mean, you are pound for pound the strongest team in this division, so I can expect us to play, I would think, probably 5 at the back, I would think, but I can't put my can't put that as nailed on. Definitely 1 up front, and it's probably going to be Wootton, and then the rest kind of chop and change depending on what we're playing and what the competition we're playing in. But you're likely to see Lewis Bate, who's our new captain at age 21, and Oliver Norwood, who we got from Sheffield United. So I'm sure Blues fans will be well aware of him. And that really is a testament to the model that we're going for. So to get out of the National League, we paid for that in terms of we bought our way out of it. There's no getting away from that. So did Wrexham. And to get out of League Two, a bit less. It was more on the team that we had with a few additions. And then into League One, they've changed the model to go young, and that's why we've got a 21-year-old captain who is mustard. I've got to say, certainly from our perspective, he came from Leeds and did a couple of loans last season, I think, as well. So Lewis Bate, watch out for him. Also, players to watch. Watch out for Louis Barry. I'm sure he needs no introduction to Blues fans. Obviously, on loan from Aston Villa to us, he's just ripping up the stat books for this league, for this division this season. I think he's statistically better than everybody in the division going forward. So he's got the ability to win a game by himself. This will be his biggest test so far, which weirdly comes against Birmingham, which is, I think, is magnificent. So there's probably going to be some needle in the game from that perspective. I would suspect we're expecting him to be roundly booed, but that's the joy of football. We're happy to be playing Birmingham away. Let's just say that, in a massive ground. I think we've pretty much sold our allocation, so we're looking forward to it hugely. I'm coming down. We're all going to pile down on the coach, and then score prediction finally for the game. I would snap your hand off now for a draw, but I think it's going to be a tough evening for us. So I think, positively speaking, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, but in reality, I think you're probably going to beat us 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, something like that. But if I had to stick it on it, I would say let's go 2-1 defeat, but positively speaking, 1-1 draw would do it. Cheers for that.
So that was Russ there. And going on to my starting 11 prediction, I got a few predictions right from the Blackpool game, but I imagine for this game, we're going to revert back to a similar team that played against Exeter, with it being a league game and also players getting rested as well, with Jay Stansfield and Alex Cochrane not even travelling with the team. So they got a well-deserved rest. So I imagine they'll come back into the starting 11. I think the only change that could happen from the Exeter game is I think that Lyndon Dykes could start up front instead of Alfie May. With Lyndon Dykes starting just in behind Jukovic against Blackpool, he said himself that he wants to really play anywhere in the team just to get minutes. So I feel that Lyndon Dykes could do a job in the team supporting Jay Stansfield up front, and I could see that happening. And with that in mind, I'm actually going to go over 2-2 for this game, because I feel that Stockport are pretty dangerous and prolific going forward with those 9 goals in their last 3 League One games. I still think there's a couple of issues to be addressed with our defence, but I'm still confident in our attack, especially at home where we're unbeaten in the league this season. So I hope to carry that on. And a point wouldn't be the worst result in the world, but obviously you want to kind of kick on and get back to that form that we started off the season with so many wins in a row. So whatever happens, I'm hopeful that we won't lose, and a win would be amazing. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're going to the game, let us know in the comments below, as well as your score prediction, and keep right on.